content creation, specifically how we're going to take their expertise and leverage the content. The best way to do it is with live interaction, webinar, hangout, or any other method where it occurs in real time in front of an audience. This is also the hardest way. The most common way is through the interview, whether that's Skype, GoToMeeting, a teleseminar, or any other method of back and forth where you can pose an idea, a question, or concept to them, they can answer, you can then follow up or get further clarification or move on to the next question. And this is usually recorded independent of being in front of an audience. So that allows you to do goofs, retakes, and then try things multiple ways and then be able to edit it before you send it out to the customer. A third way to leverage expertise from experts is through written. You can use questionnaires, you can use surveys, you can use email. Just simply email them a list of questions and ask for a response. Or you can actually pay them money, such as for consulting time and information through actually paying them money to acquire a product is very, very much possible. Or any other method where the result is written content. Then that is an approach that you can do. And we're going to break all of these down. The last one here is kind of interesting too, repurposing. Taking what they already have that's existing and either making it better in terms of how it flows or how it relates to the customers, or focusing it by going more deeper into a specific aspect of the content that they already have existing and helping them go deeper into that to create more of an approach to a specific type of audience, or changing the focus to say, hey, what if we took that content and then pointed it over here to this audience or related to this aspect of the information. So let's break down each one of these content creation considerations. As I said earlier, live interaction is going to give you the highest value if done right. It's got the highest risk of failure if done not right. It is not recommended you start here, but it is something that you can definitely build up to. If you're super brave and don't care if you mess up the first time, or if you've had some experience doing interviews before, even a little bit of live interaction, then maybe you do want to start here. Just know that it's the highest risk, but it's the highest also reward task that you could potentially do. So either they're a good friend of yours, you're brave, or you have some experience so you can justify doing this. I will tell you though, you should aspire to live interaction because it has a massive amount of leverage. There's a lot of experts who are really smart at something but afraid of the technology that can be used to deploy that expertise that they have. So they might want to do it but are scared to do it on their own, and you can provide that help for them to help them do it. And believe it or not, there's lots of people still who aren't even aware of the basic technologies out there that can communicate ideas to audiences. So could and should you be helping them take advantage of these options? A live interaction is event-based. You can pull multiple speakers up much easier. You can build scarcity around it, which is one of the most effective sales tools that exist, meaning that they have to buy before a certain time or watch before a certain time or listen before a certain time, otherwise it's gone. You can get these audiences to interact in real time to create buzz and social proof. And long term, this is a fantastic skill set to learn because eventually you will be doing this for yourself, which is where most of the money is made through live interaction with live webinars, live hangouts, and even live in-person events. The interview is one of the easiest ways to start leveraging the expertise of others. First of all, it's low pressure for both you and for them. They can go on and on and on and on and on and on and not have to worry about if they are making sense or not making sense. You can say, okay, that's okay. We can do it over again. You can be very informal and be very conversational, loose, and have fun and laugh and not be quote unquote stuffy and professional, right? In fact, when I start interviews with people, the first thing I do is try to put them at ease by saying, listen, it's okay. It's better for you to say more than less. I will do my best to edit this, and if you want to listen to it before I send it out there, just let me know so you can make sure you're represented completely. But I will tell you, I'm a pro in post-production, and I will edit you down to sound like even more of a genius than you already are. I say stuff like that. I literally tell people that when I'm interviewing that. So it's super low pressure for them. It's also low pressure for you. You can screw up and say, I didn't say that right. Let me do it again. And that's fine. Secondly, it's transformative. So interviews are super easy to add other things to them, such as creating derivative work, such as worksheets, transcripts, checklists, and other materials. I don't recommend for your first product you do these transformative things because you're just overcomplicating the process. But as you get more experience with interviews, then you can consider adding things to them to make it even better and to stick out even more from the competition. Number 3, thematic. You can interview 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, as many experts as you want on a specific topic. Or you can take a specific topic, break it down into steps or criteria, and interview each expert on those steps or those criteria. You can even interview multiple experts and only keep the ones you like and cut the rest from that product. You can interview multiple experts and find out you're going to have 2 products as a result when you only originally intended to have 1, by basing them all around a similar concept, a similar theme, a similar topic, a similar problem, a similar solution. Finally, framework. At first, you will probably not be very good at interviewing other people. That's okay. You don't have to be very good to make money doing this. But over time, once you get used to interviewing other people, then you're going to discover that it's always the same. The patterns are the patterns. Whether we're interviewing somebody on health and nutrition, or we're interviewing somebody else on cooking, or we're interviewing somebody else on parenting. It's almost always the same setup, the same framework. So the beautiful thing is you'll get in a situation where you can interview anybody on any topic at any moment's notice and provide value in a way that is situated to be marketable and make money from. And what's that going to look like for you? Well, it's going to be very exciting. So the interview should be top priority for you to start out with. And in fact, that's the one I most often advocate to somebody who says, Jason, I need to make money ASAP. What should I do? I say you should find experts and you should interview them, package that up, and then sell that. Another consideration is the written content. Written content is actually harder to do than the interview, and it has less value in most marketplaces. People typically place more value on ideas that are communicated auditorily or through video than they do through the written word. It takes the most effort, has the least reward, but it's also the safest. Plus, the internet is built on text. What that means is there's a lot of things you can do from a leverage standpoint in terms of generating traffic and creating conversion based on text. So you don't have to translate it from audio to text or transcribe it because it's already done. You started with text. And you can start it with text and then build upon that the video and the audio potentially later. Crowdsourced. You can crowdsource this. So any individual on their own thinks it's really hard work to write 8,000 words. By the way, it's not. And we'll break down more specifically writing strategies later in the later training of Product E-Class Ultima. It's not that hard, but what's harder? Getting 10 people to each write 800 words or having one person write 8,000 words. Now, 800 words per 10 people is 8,000 words. It's about 30-page, 40-page PDF, depending on how you want to lay it out. And in most markets, that's very, very easy to justify selling for $27, $37, and $47. And right now, you might be wondering too, Jason, you haven't taught me about pricing these info products. It doesn't matter. Whether you price it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks or whatever, what matters is you're getting out there and you're selling something and you're making money. So when I do break down pricing in a later module, you're going to understand some of the finer points because you probably have experience with it or because you've done other stuff first. That is more important than should I charge this or that. Lead gen. You can take bigger ticket products that experts have already created and niche them down into lower ticket, front end type of products. And you can sell them super duper uber cheap. And you could say to that person, you could say, listen, I'll give you all the money from this and I'll let you share the leads. I just want to take access to the leads as well. And that can very often remove a barrier to entry for certain types of information. You're not going to give them the whole secret. You're just going to give them a tiny little slice that is complete on its own through the written word. And so you take somebody's audio or somebody's video. I love it when they don't have written words themselves. And you make the written words. And it doesn't have to be verbatim. Obviously, it isn't verbatim because anybody can try it, transcribe. You take that and you work the framework, the step-by-step process around it. That is what you do. And then you say, congratulations. Now you don't just have to stay in the high-end market. We can go after the low-end market as well. And then, of course, guess what leads into the perfect upsell? The bigger ticket product with which you made the lower ticket product from. Lastly, ghostable. If you write content, you can put somebody else's name on it. Simple as that. And you can't do that if you're speaking it or interviewing somebody. It's a lot harder to do that on video. The only way you could do that is through the written word. You can also write cooperatively. They can be Disney and you can be Pixar. You can say this person with that person. And you see this all the time with biographies and autobiographies of famous individuals. They're not good writers. They sit down with a good writer. They get interviewed. And over all those interviews, it is then edited down and made into a very powerful narrative by a very talented writer. And usually that writer's name goes right alongside the celebrities. So-and-so's autobiography with writer name. So it's okay for you at first to make your name the opening act in this situation and them the main event, but you get credibility and clout with that, and you can repeat that process over and over again, utilizing other people's expertise and knowledge. Lastly, you can repurpose. First of all, I like this because it doesn't take that much creativity. All you got to say is what should be in an additional format but currently isn't. Then you take that, you turn it into a new format, and you use the Product E-Class framework, which is purpose, why, what, and then how, step by step. So very often you can take things and chunk them down or move them over into other types of formats, do most of the work, and then help the person market it either to their existing customer base or market it on behalf of them in other markets and make money that way. Secondly, problem solver. If somebody wishes they had a format that they currently don't and most likely won't in the near future have, why don't you help them by getting it? Why don't you help them make that work and then take some money as a result of being helpful to them? Specifically, if that helps make them more money, you should get a little bit of that, right? This is also a very effective technique. If you really want to stack the deck in your favor, you don't ask for permission in advance. You create the repurposed product and then you bring it to them. Now, there is a risk with all this work that they might say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to use that. If they do say no, very often they're open to say, yes, if ... And then they tell you what would need to happen for them to want to promote that, get behind that, leverage that in a way that would make both of you money. Or even if they flat out say no, any concept is 80% foundational and only 20% unique or tweaked or specific related to somebody's individual personality and experience. So if you do the work once and somebody says no, you can take that repurpose and repurpose the repurpose and go to somebody else and say, I got something for you. And eventually you're going to get a yes from somebody who has an audience, who would be happy to put that in front of the audience with their name on it and your name on it, and you guys all make money. Lastly, turnkey. This is the easiest thing to outsource and build an agency around. For others at first and for yourself. So at first, you're the outsourcer, where you're the one that is creating and helping them utilize the content, but not just in your typical outsource work where they just pay you by the hour, right? Because you're going to provide marketing and value beyond just transforming information in one aspect into another aspect. But what I mean by this is you can outsource the outsourcing. If you're the marketing arm, you can create a process to transform and repurpose content that you can very easily hire out and have somebody follow systematically. And you become almost an agency in this regard, or an actual agency. And you can do this for everybody. You could even do this for yourself in the future. So it's a good way to build something that could be valuable for you later on, that's immediately valuable for some other people that you can work deals with and make money as a result.